Okay, so in this video we're going to look at what may be the most powerful task in all of Agent X, which is, really saying something because there's a lot of very, very high value tasks. There are some tasks there that you would have to pay $300, $500 or more for a freelance to complete. You could not do with a single software tool. You would need multiple tools and multiple freelancers. But this task that I'm about to show you, which is creating a sales page, is on another level, and it's perhaps the task that has made me the most money and that I'm most proud of. It's also the task that took the longest time to build. This one task is part of the reason that it took so long to get Agent X out, but it's made me so much money this year being able to do what I'm about to show you. And if you've ever wanted to make money online, which I'm assuming everyone watching this video has, then you will know that one of the most difficult things that you can do is to sell your own product, and one of the most intensive and intimidating things that you can do in terms of selling your own product is having to create a super duper high quality sales letter that is good enough to compete with some of the big boys. And so the way to create these sales letters, the way that these professional level sales letters are created by marketers, there's basically two ways that people do it. One is to create it themselves using software. Some people use Remixable, some people use ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels is very, very popular. And you have to become very, very good at ClickFunnels. You really have to learn it. And secondly, you have to be a very, very good copywriter. Now, if you are not highly proficient at ClickFunnels, which I think is like $300 per month, and you're also not a good copywriter, and you don't have all the other skills that you'll need to build the page, you can't get hold of royalty-free images and stock photos and all these things, you're going to find it very, very difficult. And so what you will need to do is to outsource it, which is what the vast majority of marketers do. They find a professional copywriter to write the copy, and then they find a professional designer to turn that design into a finished web page. And typically they will pay for a good copywriter anywhere from $500 to $5,000, and for a good designer they will pay again anywhere from $300 up to kind of $3,000. And there was a period that we were outsourcing. We actually outsourced the copy once, twice. Most of the time I did that, but there was a period that we were outsourcing the copy to a really good copywriter, and we outsourced, I would tweak the copy, and then we would pass that on to a designer who would actually create the whole page. And so the whole thing probably cost around $3,000 just to create the page, and would probably take around 1 to 2 weeks. Now, I'm a very experienced marketer, and I was dealing with people who were the best value that I could find, and it still took me a lot of time to kind of manage them. But it cost me like $3,000. So most people would probably either have to spend more and get an inferior page, or basically just give up on the whole process, or have to learn copywriting and also learn ClickFunnels, learn Remixable, which is going to take you a bit of time. What this task does is it basically generates sales letters on the same level as the top marketers who are spending $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $10,000 to build these pages, and spending taking a month to do the whole thing. This single task in a single click, or actually it's a two-step process in 2 clicks really, it builds pages on that level. So it is absolutely insane. I cannot stress how ridiculous it is that we have this task in here, and we're going to be deploying other tasks on this same level as we go through 2024. They're already lined up, they're already being developed. And so I'm really, really excited to show you this one. So I just wanted to do this quick intro before we dive into the task. So if you go to Agent X, you click on New Agents, and at the top you type in sales page or SAL. It's going to bring up this, which is Build Full Sales Page Step 1 Pro. So the reason that this is called Step 1 Pro, it is a big task. It's quite an expensive task. It's quite a time-consuming task. It's going to take somewhere between 3 and 6 hours to run. Okay, so it's not a quick task, and you'll understand why when I show you exactly what the task does. But the first thing we'll want to do is to enter the name of the product. So at the top we'll put in this case it's AI Whisperer 2024. So I'm going to be coming out with a new course, very likely called AI Whisperer 2024, and I don't have the time or the inclination to go and build this page manually. I don't want to pay a freelancer. I just want to focus on the agent, And so I'm just going to get the AI to build this sales page for me. And so the first thing I've done is I've put the name of the product. The second thing is it will ask you for product information. It's also going to ask you for a buy link, but I'm just going to replace that later. And I'll do training videos in the future of how to edit these pages once the AI has built them. But for now, I'm just going to put buylink.com. You would put your Warrior Plus, link, or your ClickBank link, whatever your buy link is going to be there. And it's going to ask for product information, which is either headlines, like marketing copy, which will guide the AIs to the kind of marketing copy you want, and product information. And the product information is very, very important, okay? So even if you don't give it kind of reference headlines, the AI will know how to write good copy because of the prompts that I'm going to give it. But you will need to put product info in, and the more detail you give it, the better. So if I just paste that back in, you can see what I did is I entered 1, 2, 3, 4 headlines, and then I put for product information, I put all of this information about what the product is. And you can see I've written it in kind of a fairly hypey style, so it is still written in a fairly hypey style. But if you want, you could feel free to just write this in a very boring style. So, AI Whisperer is a training course focused on affiliates and internet marketers who want to make money using AI. A lot of people don't know how AI works and can't keep up to date on it. In this course, I'm going to show you how it works. There are 32 training videos. The first 6 videos are on XYZ, and you can kind of do it like that if you want. Also, in terms of the headlines that I've entered, a lot of you may be thinking, well, I can't write headlines, so how would I even put the headlines in to get this done? Well, remember, as I say, you don't have to put the headlines in, number one. Number two, you can create the copy in the headlines using some of the other tasks, like the sales copy task, which is here, and also the VSL copy task. Or alternatively, what you can do is you can go over to a successful sales page that's similar to the one that you want to model off, which in this case is quite easy for me because I already have the original AI Whisperer course. And so I can kind of copy that headline, change a few things, so update the date, change a few of the words, change the date here, and so on and so forth. And it's going to give me my new headline, which you can see is this here. And so if you can't write headlines, then go and look at your competitors, copy their headline, paste it into the AI. Remember that AI is not just going to copy them verbatim. It's not just going to, completely steal their headline. It will just kind of use it as references and kind of a starting point. And so when we're happy with that, we've put all that in product information in the headline, and we click on Run Agent. And then a few hours later, and like I say, it is going to take a few hours, the AI will then output a page that looks something like this. And you can see this one started at 8 o'clock and finished at 11 o'clock. So it took around 3 hours to complete. But it's going to give us a link, a selector link. And when I click on this, it's going to take me to a page that looks like this. And you can see it says choose sales page blocks for AI Whisperer 2024. It has a summary of what we entered here. And then this is where the fun starts. So what it's basically done is it's taken I think 81 or 82 templates, and we may add and remove some of these templates as we go along, but for now we're leaving it with the 80 templates. It's basically taken 80 of the templates, which you'll recognize from my pages. If I'll show you this and then I go back here, you will see that this is basically the same kind of layout, the same kind of template. It's taken that template and it's now editing the template and updating it for the copy that I pasted in. And you can see the copy here is really, really strong. New 2024, ClickBank, Platinum Affiliate Reveals, cut and paste, 25 AI secrets that earn up to $540,000 with AI. You'll notice the formatting is really, really good too. So it's got this right. It's underlined certain words. It's got certain words in one color and other words in another color, just like the original prompt had. You can see the font slightly different. And by the way, there is a way to change the font and the style sheets, which I will also include in the editing page as well, in the editing video that I'll do. So I'll do a video on how you can actually, once you've exported these pages, you've selected the blocks and you've exported the files, how you can very easily edit them. But you can see straight out of the gate, this is like, really, really good copy. This is like excellent copy. And this is literally just the first block. And if I click on the second block, you can see that's pretty good. Maybe not as good. For some reason, the logo, which by the way, you'll notice the logo was there in the original one. It's actually created this logo. This is an image that the AI itself has created. It'll create e-covers as well. And we can easily replace these. Again, this will be in the video on how to edit these pages, but you know, it's created a logo, so it's literally good to go. And some of these, you know, there'll be errors. Maybe the logo's missing, maybe it's a headline that you don't like. There's like 80 of them. You know what I mean? So even if there's a few that you don't like, you don't need 80 blocks in a sales page. You need maybe between 7 and 20 blocks. And so the presumption is we won't select most of these. This is like, you know, insane overkill for us to have this many choices of incredible copywriting blocks. And what I'm going to do is I'm on Windows, I'm going to hold Control and hit plus, which is going to allow me to zoom in so I can see the blocks a bit better. I can, of course, just click on them and I can zoom in further. But I'm just going to zoom in a little bit just so I can see them a bit better. And then when I see a block that I like, I'm going to click down here and select it. Now, the reason that we have these numbers is because this is the default order that the blocks are going to appear in. So this is, and by the way, they are pretty much listed in the kind of order you would want. So this is like the first block, which is why this one appears at the start. If I scroll down to the bottom of the page, then generally the blocks that appear down here are the kind of closed blocks, as you can see. So, you know, these ones at the bottom will be like the last blocks that you select. And there's a few exceptions, but predominantly these will be the ones that you put at the end. I think this one needs to be moved upwards actually, so maybe that's an error on my part. But you kind of select them in the order that they presented here. So I really like this one. I would spend a lot of time going through these blocks, by the way. I wouldn't just do what I'm doing here and just, you know, click them blindly. But for the purposes of speed, I'm just going to click this block. Then I'm going to scroll down. You know, these all look really good and stuff. And then I want a buy block, because if you actually look at this page, like some of the blocks here have got buy buttons on them. Some of them don't, but we definitely want people to be able to buy directly under here, just like they can with the original AI Whisperer. And so I'm going to check the buy block, and I'm going to check that as the second one. And let's just zoom in and see how that looks. Yes, I want AI Whisperer 2024 edition, exclusive launch offer, limited time resale rights included. Yeah, that's true. So I included that in the description. Special launch price, resale rights offer at now before the offer ends. Yeah, this is all true. So the AI's added this here. I haven't told it to add it here. I've told it that I am including resale rights. I've told it it's limited, and the AI has added this here. So that's really, really cool. So I've entered that as step 2. Let's have a look at this. 2023, curious mind. In 2023, how much did you learn about AI? Yeah, it's kind of okay copy. You could always edit this, but I'm just going to try and keep the editing as low as possible. And again, some of these, you know, it's going to create kind of meh copy, and then some will just look absolutely awesome. So this looks like pretty promising. ChatGPT AI nerd exposes your secrets to how we made. That's a really strong headline. That's also really strong. 2023 was a long. Yeah, this is excellent. I really like that. So I'm going to select that as number 3. And by the way, you can have multiple number 3s. It's not going to break the system. It will just make things a little bit more clunky later on. We'll have to, you know, we will have to decide on a final offer, a final order, or the AI will do it for us. AI Innovators Unleashed. I'm not sure that kind of makes grammatical sense. Steer your path, profit awaits. Like some of the headlines it will do as well are just kind of odd, but in a way that is kind of cool. Like it's actually eye-catching. So this is a pretty good one. But for now, I'm just going to add a few of these. And by the way, as well, you'll notice, like I mentioned before, we can change the style. Okay, so we can actually change the colors, the fonts. We can change all that. This is just like a default font that the AI has selected. You'll recognize by default it's the same font as we use for Agent X. So I'm going to click that as number 4. That's pretty good. I'm going to include that as number 5. That's really good too, so I'll include that as number 6. And I'm just going to go through these and select, just kind of preview them, select the ones I like, and let's just kind of quickly finish this up, just so you can see, how the blocks look. You can see they do look just so good, just straight out of the gate. There's the occasional little error, like that text has been knocked off that line there, so I'm not going to bother with that one, That's pretty good, but I'm not going to bother with that. We can probably do better. Yeah, that one looks really good. So I'm going to click on close. I'm going to include that one. I'm not even sure what number we're up to. We'll just put that as 8. And then we will scroll down and we'll include that one. 9, 10. This is all good stuff. It's really good. That's excellent. So I'll make that 11, 12. We'll include that one too. Looks good. I'm not even sure what number we're up to. Like I say, it doesn't matter all that much. And then we'll add these as well. So probably some duplicates here. Probably covered some numbers up. And then we need the guarantee. We need the close. I've got our bonuses. So let's have the close. The bonuses here. So 16. And then the guarantee. I think there's actually 2 guarantee blocks we can choose from. I would click and I would read the text, by the way, to make sure the text kind of makes sense. Just because I don't want to do really any editing if I can avoid it. So we'll select that one, and then we've added the guarantee. We'll add the kind of feature block, and then we will just add the FAQ block. We will add, and you can see here we have this block. This is for upsells. So you could also create an upsell page with all these blocks just by selecting this. It's going to give people one no thanks option. Let's say we wanted this to appear in 2 places. We wanted it to appear 2/3 the way down the page and right at the bottom. Then we could have it as 19 and 29, for example. That'd be completely fine. But I'm just going to close this page out. So we're up to 19. So let's have 20 and 21 as the footer. And then that's it. And so now you can see it's selected all these blocks. And by the way, if I click on reorder images, you can see it's going to give us the order that they're in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You can see I actually did 2 13. So I'm just going to change that to 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Oh, sorry, that's that one there. 23. Yes, we have 23 blocks in total. So what we would do now is we would copy to clipboard. And by the way, you could, open these links up yourself. You can go to these links on your browser, go and have a look at them, see how they look. Delete some of them. Maybe after you've looked at them, you actually don't want that one there. You can just reorder them. That's absolutely fine. But what you will want to do at the end is to copy all of these, all these images in the order you've selected them. Go back to Agent X, and then once you've decided on your images, you want to search on sales again. And this time, instead of clicking Build Sales Page Step 1, you're going to click on Complete Full Sales Page Step 2. You are going to click here, and you're going to put the name of the product, which, you know, in this case is AI Whisper 2024 again, and you are going to paste in those URLs that we selected, and you're going to click on Run Agent, and the AI is then going to generate a complete sales video. It's going to stitch all these up. So this is going to appear first, and then this, and then this, and then this, and you're going to end up with a complete HTML page that looks just like this, with all the style sheets, all the images, everything preloaded. It's going to give you a zip file. You can then download that zip file and upload the file to your server. You can edit it, and like I say, I will do a training video on how to edit it later on, but this is just a phenomenal task. I'm so proud that it's inside of Agent X. It's one that's made me a ton of money in 2023, and it's one that is going to spin a lot of heads when more and more people find out about it. So thank you for being a member. Hope you love this task and make as much money with it as I have. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.